forged bottom end, PRC heads, Texas Freak hams.
Cams, man. You got one cam.
Oh, sorry. I want a V8. You hear that thing? It's okay, RB. I still love you. This a whole R34 on the ground. What's up, you guys? Welcome back. As you can see, the engine and trans are in the car. Everything's on. Let me show you a little bit of update with the progress. Right now, Sicky header's on. As you can see, the steering shaft goes through there. On this side, no steering shaft because this is right-hand drive, sump in there. Mind you, this is all a soft mock, which means we still gotta take this engine back out and do some other stuff. But before we can do any of that, I have my people here from Street Faction, Mr. Matthew, Mr. Renee. And since there's not really an abundance of support for the R34 here in the States, because R34 has just became legal in the States, Matt, my good man over here, has done every form of chassis, but this car is just a little bit different due to the fact that he hasn't done a 34 yet. But since he hasn't done this car, each generation of Nissan does have a front bumper. That's different, but also another difference between this car and everything else, I've been using 240 SX seat brackets for this. And since there's not really a great support for this car because the GTT and the GTR are different, the all-wheel drive system in the car changes the positioning of where you actually physically mount and bolt in the seat brackets. And I've been using just standard 240 SX ones for here. Mr. Matthew is gonna scan this all up and do everything that he does best.
Yeah, we'll make you specialized brackets.
And then the goal is to get the bash bar here so I can have a jacking point in the front, but also a jacking point in the back.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe a harness bar?
Harness bar, definitely.
Yes. And is this a 3D scanner?
Yeah, so this is the 3D scanner. So what it does is it projects a pattern of light onto the object, and how that pattern wraps around the surface is how it captures it in 3D.
And then I'm guessing you're gonna do what you do.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get to some stuff. I gotta take these seats out. It's about to get fun. Now, his computer is processing and rendering everything that's gonna go in there right now.
Bring the car up.
You need me to lift it up?
Yeah, you need to scan the bottom now.
Uh-oh, what you doing on the bottom?
You mentioned you wanted a power brace, so I'm gonna see if the 14, 13, or R32 fits. If it does, it'll save us a ton of time.
Now, what exactly is a power brace for the kids that don't know?
Okay, so I don't know why it's called a power brace, but technically it's just a chassis brace. It braces the frame rails between each other for the arms that are connected to the control arms on the bottom for the caster.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's super, super strong.
Thank you. Let me show y'all something real quick. Mr. Matt, hit him with the facts.
All right, so Gary, you're looking at the raw scan data. So all these little artifacts on the outside will get cleaned up and you'll just get left with the frame.
You did all this with that magic? This looked like a goddamn iron. It looks like an iron.
Let's do the rear end.
Really? That's all you had to do?
That's all I gotta do here. So let's do the back of the car.
What is that?
It's basically like baby powder in a can. So what it does is it gets rid of the shininess on the bumper so that the scanner can pick up the image better.
That's why they pay. That's why he get the big dollars. My dumb ass would have just threw baby powder on here and then we would have been screwed. But all these dots, from what Mr. Matt told me, are to help your scanner pick up the actual image into this computer.
Yeah, it helps it track itself. So like imagine you're scanning, you're looking at this quarter panel right here. How do you differentiate this section from this section? You can't. It looks the same. So the trackers offer a little bit of difference in the texture so that it knows what to follow. Stay in school, kids. Stay in school.
And that's why I want a V8. Look at that, you hear that thing? I can't be mad at a JDM car with a V8. It's okay, RB. I still love you. I still love you. But did you hear Jolly's car? We sure did, coach. We got something for him. We got some for a little bit of LS power. What's going on here, Mr. Renee?
So Matt was explaining to me how it's pretty gnarly how JDM market for the factory crash bars, it's only single wall, so it's very, very thin. So after a bash bar, it's gonna be way thin.
That's why I got y'all. That's why I got y'all. Quality parts, quality help, no broken backs, no single wall steel.
At least. What? Are you kidding me?
That's it? This is supposed to save me?
There we go. There we go.
Wow, the fact that I can just do that and I'm still okay. this is not good, Mr. Renee. Wow, that's crazy.
That's so right.
Amazing on this.
Coach,
What up?
what you think?
Man, this makes me really happy, Gary King.
You know, this man helped me out with my cam and head package. I told him, listen, I got something going on, and nothing better than the sweet sound of the Texas Speed BFD cam, or whenever I get to hear it.
You had to get him that Bigfoot's dick.
Now, I've never driven a real V8 car in a sense like I've driven a Suburban, a 1996 Z28 with an LT1, but what's this gonna feel like?
This is probably gonna be pretty spicy. I mean, for an LS1, it's still a pretty small displacement motor, but they can get crispy.
Yeah?
Yeah, man, you can beat on them all day long, man. Like, as long as it's done right, which I think yours is, you'll be having fun.
It's a forged bottom end, heads, PRC heads, Texas Speed cams, push rods.
Cams, no, you got one cam. Gary.
Oh, sorry.
You're a total poser.
I'm used to saying.
Boy, you only got one, okay?
Okay.
We got push rods.
Okay.
When are we firing this thing up?
Hopefully, waiting on that wire harness. So LS Fest is approaching, but also I got to get this to my grandfather before LS Fest. So
Godspeed. I mean, as long as you got the harness, man, just click in a few things and put some power to it, put some power to the starter. You'll be good.
all right,
You'll be good.
it's an LS, right?
It's an LS. If Bad Daddy Brady can do it, you can do it.
So car's all scanned up. Now we know what we need to do for as far as the bash bar, the interior, and the suspension. While we wait for that, we have to take the engine back out, and then we also have to nut and bolt check the engine, then go to the transmission, seal all that up, so when we put the engine back in, it's its last time being in there, so we can get it ready for wiring and all that fun stuff so it can actually run. There's so much more to do. Kids, I advise you, if you're gonna do this, learn through my mistakes. Today, we got my boy Tanner here, my good lady Megan here from Fuelabs, as you can see on the back of his shirt. And Matt and Gilbert always here. Since we're waiting for the suspension parts to come for the 34, what better way than to do the fueling system? That's right, to get big power, you need big air, big fuel, and what better way to do it without all the shit in the car as it is right now? As we see the engine sitting over there, it still needs final, whatever it needs. But this car needs a good fueling system, and this man right here is gonna be the dude on the job to do so.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure that you're ready for 600 plus on the 85 later on down the road, but for now, let's just make sure it runs and stays healthy. Nice.
So we gotta obviously put all the parts on the table, and with the magic of cinema, so you want to give a quick rundown of fueling things?
Yeah, today we're gonna do a surge tank, so we're gonna use the stock pump to feed a surge tank. Surge tank will help prevent fuel slosh when Gary decides to get real rowdy with this LS. And then we'll have enough fuel to support his wildest dreams just about on pump, on the 85, race gas, whatever you want.
Can I run C16 in here?
Yes.
Can I run jet fuel in here?
Yes.
Can I run the blood of Jesus Christ in here?
Yes.
Don't use that. Don't use that. It's too bad. We have all our Holly parts here and our Fuelab parts here for our build. We can do everything we need to execute for this car. So what does that mean? Since we have the Holly parts, the fuel rail, we have the Fuelab fuel parts for this car, it exactly means what you thought it would mean. Ultimate is about to happen. Everything you see on this table, everything you hear in my voice is how this car is gonna sound. What you thought you was doing needs to stop right now. Whatever drift cars, grip cars, even your kids' cars you thought you was doing, kick them out the window. That's it, because there's only one car they need to see in their entire life, and that is this ultimate driving machine. Whatever BMW thought they was doing back in the early 80s and late 90s has to stop right now, because they didn't have the engineering feat that I have, and they surely didn't have a Skyline. So you want to explain what we're doing?
So right now we're pulling the stock fuel lines out. making a really big mess so that we can feed the Dash 8 in through the top, which will be the new feed for the motor. We decided that we're actually gonna run the regulator in the back of the car so that we only have one line running up front, and then the return will actually be hidden in the trunk, so more street car friendly.
Street car. In typical fashion,
So we had to cut some brake lines.
brake lines.
I'm sorry, you weren't supposed to hear that. Oh, actually, we cut the fuel lines.
Where?
Right here.
Okay, you ain't blow up, right?
Nah,
Obviously.
yeah, we're cool. So we had to cut the brake line because it's all fuel line because it's all tangled up in the fuel tank. So we're just gonna leave that there for now. Drop the Dash 8 line through. Later on the next episode or whatever you see us, we'll drop the subframe and then clean all this up.
This all one episode.
The next scene, you'll see us remove this properly.
Yeah, so we're assembling the surge tank setup real quick with our base plate. The base plate will be able to hold our fuel filter and the surge tank itself. The surge tank has fittings on it to feed the filter, plus get the feed from the lift pump, the return to the stock tank, and the return from the regulator to keep the surge tank full. And then all of that to our regulator that will eventually feed the motor, keep that thing alive.
Okay. So right now we have finished the soft mount of the surge tank from Fuelabs. My boy Tanner right here came and did the damn thing. So to sum up what we did, fuel pressure regulator is mounted to the back of the trunk firewall. So technically that's FD spec because this is by default a firewall. So as you can see there, now the surge tank is right here, so it'll stay right there. It's at an angle because that's the best place to mount it right now. The feed line is going to the fuel pressure regulator, and then as you can see, the fuel pressure regulator is now going out towards the engine bay. So as you guys are seeing, everything is soft mock. So when we do the final thing, we know how everything fits and is coordinated for this car. So there's no like, well, we guess. It's just we have enough slack for everything to make sure it's right. Thank you again, Tanner. Appreciate you and Miss Megan. Thank you again, Matt. Thank you again, Gilberto. This ain't over. This ain't over. Unfortunately, I have some bad news. I am going to have to remove my dashboard because the wiring harness is stuck behind the dashboard. Great, yay, I have to take all of this out. But on a good note, all the janky ass wiring that came with this car can be removed now because the dashboard's coming out, which is gonna be so much fun to do. Yay, yay. What's up, everybody? We are back. Rear subframe remove, that is right. Getting new bushing so I can put the arms and getting the front and rear subframes Cerakoted. That's right, I'm getting them Cerakoted. It's a special coating they usually use for headers to keep the heat down, but my boys at Dynamic Weapon Solutions can do what they need to do. So I might take my headers and get these bad boys Cerakoted. The point of getting my headers Cerakoted so it can keep the temperature down. That's number one. So I'm trying to still come up with the color for this and also a color for my subframes because I am going to be taking my S14 subframes, well, S14 front subframe and my rear R34 GTT subframes to get coated as well. So that way all of this can look pretty. I want it to look beautiful. So that way, you know, this turned it from an engine swap to a whole calamity of stuff. So let's get in a trip. Y'all ready, nieces and nephews? Let's hop in the car, take this bad boy off and get going. All right, y'all, so we made it here to Dynamic Weapons. All right, you guys, we made it down here to Dynamic Weapon Solutions. We are gonna see what goes into Cerakoting and see what colors I'm gonna choose for my subframe and my headers. Let's get in here. Ahoy hoy there, sir. Long time no see.
Long time.
This is my boy Matt right here former Hoonigan employee. So for people that don't know, what exactly is Cerakote?
So Cerakote's an aerosol-based ceramic coating. Some call it fancy spray paint. Basically what it does is they have several different options. It's a coating that can go on pretty much anything as long as it can be sandblasted. They have a couple different options for different heat levels, if you want UV protection, if you want impact protection, all that good stuff.
Cool. So for me, since I'm using it on my subframe and my headers, am I kind of going above and beyond for what I need it for?
So you're actually going to be right in the ballpark or the area for what's called the V series. The V series has a heat rating of up to, I believe, 2,500 degrees. So we're going to be using the V series for your headers, and for your subframe, we're going to be using their H series, which is the highest impact protection, UV protection, and I believe that's rated up to 600 degrees. So obviously subframe isn't going to get that hot, but if it does, then you'll be protected for that.
Sounds good to me. So I'm gonna pull up a picture. Y'all gonna flame me for this. I'm going for this, the Neo Genesis Godzilla kind of theme on my car. So my car is green, and I'm trying to do like light hints of purple and black where I can. So I thought I'd do the Cerakote, the headers black, and then the subframe parts, which is the parts that kind of hold up the mech, I'm gonna try to shoot for a like light purple.
Yeah, so the cool thing with Cerakote is they have a ton of color options. These are probably just, I would say, about 40% of the different color options that they have.
Oh, you guys got all kind of colors. Let's see, you know your Uncle Gary bad at colors. So we're gonna hold this next to this. What you think?
And when it comes out, when it gets sprayed, it will be a little bit...
Will it be brighter or darker?
A little bit brighter. So yeah, we'll go back and actually, I can show you the bottles too.
Okay.
Of the paint too.
All right. So are these your colors?
Yeah, these are all the colors.
So I'm doing the purple. Okay, let me see that purple in your hand.
So we got these two purples.
Hey. Damn, it's a toss-up.
Yeah.
It's a damn. Hold on, let me pull out the picture again.
I think it's gonna be this one. On the right.
Yeah. You know what you're doing. I'm gonna let you do that, my boy.
So we'll get going with that, and then when you bring us the other parts, we'll get those going with that green.
All right, sounds solid, my good man.
All right, sir.
Thank you. I have a lot more stuff to bring, but for now, brought the front subframe and my headers. So we are going to bring more stuff later on in the week. I just still have to do some other things, and I only have the CRV, so it's only so much I can fit in here. But get these things in there, let these boys do what they need to do, and let's skedaddle, because we have more shit to do to the car. So you may be wondering, Gary, that's not the 34. I know it's not. Since I'm going to for this versus that, our boys Matt and Gilbert are going to finish up some stuff that I can't do here right now because I'm not here right now, and it's more comfortable if we bring it to our shop at the moment. So we're gonna load this bad boy into Old Faithful back here and get it going, because that's the best way we know what to do. All right, we gotta push now. Pushing it back, cars at the shop, we got it back. Oh, it looks like the caster broke. The car is on the ground. This ain't April Fool's, this ain't supposed to happen. Oh, cool, so only those bent.
Yeah.
All right, so my car's fine, I hope. Matthew, Matthew, you want me to realize this a whole fucking R34
On the floor.
on the ground. That perfectly ran.
I wasn't lying when I said it was totaled.
No, it's not totaled. It's still not. No, you were supposed to listen. He said, let's Matt spec the car. I went along with it. He said, don't worry, Gary. Kids, let this be a lesson. Just keep it simple. All these people gonna lift this car onto this? Ain't no way. I mean, I believe in everybody. Oh Lord. Oh Lord, this is truly a real thing. I got everybody out here helping.
Hey, we're not gonna push the cart in.
I think it's good. Yeah. Car is in the shop. I'll see you boys when I get back. Be safe. I'm burnt out. This car got me nervous. After countless hours, this is what the car looked like right now. Bam! Look at that sucker right there. Made it to LS Fest West. What are you doing? Boy knows what he's doing. What are you doing? I'm gonna have to make a phone call.